My name's Ethan, and for most of my 30s, I believed laughter in a relationship was proof of love. I used to think if we could still joke, still share inside humor after hard days, then we were solid. I was wrong. Sometimes laughter hides distance. It's the sound people make when they're pretending nothing's breaking. Claire loved to laugh. Her smile was contagious, bright enough to pull me out of long shifts at the workshop. We met at a friend's barbecue, and within weeks we were finishing each other's sentences. Back then I thought we were unbreakable, but love can fade in silence long before words admit it. It started small. Weekends that used to be hours turned into separate schedules. She'd say, "Go hang with your guys, I'll be with the girls." I didn't argue. I trusted her. Then came the jokes that didn't feel funny anymore. "You're getting old, Ethan," she'd tease when I forgot something. Or, "Don't be so serious, it's just a joke." I laughed along because that's what love is supposed to be, right? Patient, easy, forgiving. But each joke carried a sting, and I kept swallowing it until the laughter inside me went quiet. Our anniversary rolled around last spring. I'd booked a small restaurant she once called our spot. She texted 2 hours before dinner. "Forgot, it's girls' night. We'll celebrate another time." That another time never came. Still, I tried. I suggested counseling. She rolled her eyes. "Ethan, stop being dramatic. We're fine. But fine isn't love. Fine is the sound a heart makes before it gives up." Then came the night that rewired everything. I came home early from a late delivery run. The house smelled like her favorite candles. Music low. The sound of laughter spilling from the living room. Claire was there with her friends, glasses of wine, faces red from gossip. I stood in the doorway, invisible in my own home. When she finally saw me, she didn't stop laughing. She just looked over and said, "Time to move on, Ethan." The room went quiet for half a second. Then the giggles started again. Sharp and careless, it was supposed to hurt, and it did, but not the way she expected. In that moment, something in me unclenched. I realized I'd already been moving on, inch by inch, every time she turned our love into a joke. I smiled back, calm as ever. "Already did," I said, pulling an envelope from my jacket pocket. "Just sign," her smile faltered. The laughter faded like a song cut mid-chorus. Inside that envelope were divorce papers I'd quietly prepared weeks ago. I'd told no one, not friends, not family. I wasn't planning revenge. I was planning peace. She stared at the papers, then at me. Her friends looked away, suddenly sober. I placed the envelope on the coffee table, nodded once, and headed upstairs. That night I packed a bag with only what was mine. A few shirts, my father's watch, a photo of us from better days. In the mirror, I caught my own reflection. Tired eyes, steady hands. Not angry, not sad, just finished. That's the kind of ending no one teaches you how to feel. When I closed the door behind me, the laughter downstairs had stopped completely. The only sound was the lock clicking, a sound that somehow felt merciful. Driving away, I thought about how love doesn't always end with betrayal or shouting. Sometimes it ends with a quiet realization. You're the only one still trying. I rented a small apartment downtown overlooking a dull street and started learning what silence sounds like when it's chosen, not forced. Every morning I made coffee and didn't wait for someone else to wake up. At first it felt lonely. Then it felt peaceful. Then it just felt like life again. The first few weeks alone were a strange kind of quiet. I'd wake up expecting the sound of her footsteps, the soft hum of the hairdryer, the faint perfume that used to linger in the hallway. But the silence didn't ache, it breathed. It was like stepping into sunlight after years underground. I stopped checking my phone for her messages. The first time I saw her name light up the screen, it wasn't a call. It was an email. One line, "Are you sure about this?" I didn't reply. Some questions don't need answers. They just hang there waiting for you to look back. Instead, I focused on rebuilding. I started running again, picking up early shifts, spending weekends with my brother and his kids. Little things. I learned how to fill the space she used to take up without bitterness. One afternoon, I ran into her best friend at a grocery store. She froze for a second, then said softly, "She didn't think you'd actually go through with it." I smiled. She didn't think I'd ever stop waiting. That's the thing about people who think your love is permanent. They treat it like furniture. Something that'll always be there, even if they never dust it off. A month later, the signed papers came back. No note, no message, just her signature in blue ink. That was it. 10 years of marriage distilled into a few pages and one indifferent envelope. I took it out to the balcony that night, stared at it under the streetlight, and thought about the moment she'd said, "Time to move on." She probably thought she'd get to play the hero in her own story, surrounded by laughter, claiming freedom. But freedom isn't walking away from someone, it's walking back to yourself. I didn't hate her. I didn't even blame her. I just finally understood that loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself to keep them comfortable. A few months passed. I changed jobs, cut my hair shorter, sold the old car we used to fight over. One night I got a message from an unknown number. "Hey, heard you're doing well. Maybe we can talk?" I didn't reply. I didn't need closure from the person who already gave it to me in laughter. Instead, I opened my journal, a habit I'd started since the separation, and wrote, "Sometimes, love doesn't end when she stops loving you. It ends when you finally stop trying to prove you're worth loving." That became my quiet truth. Then something unexpected happened. 6 months later, I saw her again at a mutual friends gathering. She looked surprised to see me. Her smile was polite, not warm. She asked how I'd been. I told her, "Better." There was a pause. She glanced down, fidgeted with her drink. "I thought you'd be angry," she said. I shook my head. "Anger's heavy." I had to put it down to move forward. Her eyes softened a little, maybe from guilt, maybe from nostalgia. She whispered, "You really did move on, huh?" I smiled. The same calm, steady smile from that night in the living room. "Already did." We talked for a few more minutes, just enough to prove we could be civil. But as I walked away, I realized something. She was still standing in the same emotional place where I'd left her, waiting for someone else to make her feel complete. Driving home that night, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt free. There's a quiet satisfaction in knowing you didn't have to destroy someone to heal yourself. These days, I still think about her sometimes. Not out of longing, but gratitude. She was the lesson I didn't know I needed. Because of her, I learned that love should feel like peace, not permission. Every morning, I open the blinds in my apartment and let the sunlight in. No more shadows, no more pretending things are fine. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm just finally living like a man who kept his dignity when laughter tried to take it from him. She once said, "Time to move on," like it was a challenge, a dismissal. Now, whenever I remember that moment, the circle of friends, the echo of their laughter, the weight of that envelope, I don't feel pain anymore. I feel pride, because sometimes the best reply to cruelty isn't rage or revenge. It's calm. It's silence. It's the quiet strength of a man who knows when to smile and say, "Already did."